this does not bode well. It's almost 500 million, and the buying orders are approximately 850. So it's not even close to 2 to 1 anymore. It hasn't been for quite some time, but ouch. Mm. I'm fairly sure the sale of 7 injectors will still get me 3 months of Omega, but the seed capital to start it, wow, that's 24. That's 12 billion. Yeah, 4 times 6, 24. Half of that, 12 billion. Oh, 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 wow. Crazed. 12 billion. Let's do the math here. So I need to grind. 12 billion. And I need to do. Give me a sec. Math sucks. 7 times 30 is 210 million power strongholds. So I need to. Wow. And I typically do like 5 a day on average. So I have to take. That'll be 12 days for me to rack up that much. Wow. That's 12 full days of grinding fobs. 5 a day. Doable. Definitely doable. Oh. 4 hours a day. Yeah, good 4 hours a day. 4 or 5 hours a day. 5 fobs. 12 days. Done. Am I missing anything? Oh, I probably am. Wow. Holy crap. So it cost me 2 billion almost exactly. And I'm getting 1.25 billion profit out of that skill farming for one character for 1 month. Interesting. Yeah, and final word on this, there's no point in using the air program to cheese out more skill points in a month. You could easily do it. You could explode your injector, your how much how much injectors you can produce a month, from 4 to 10. But the problem is that, yes, it would take you no time at all if you really cheese it hard, meaning you'd have to have an extra character on this account, a third character, the tertiary character, as a biomassing character, and I'm not willing to go that way. I could, but I would have to sacrifice. It wouldn't be too big of a deal because I've never used her. I've never used them. They're there if I need them. They're ganking alts. They're, Catalyst, Tech 2 Catalyst, Tech 2 Talus, Tech 2, Thorax, the Galente interface ganking alts. Never used them. So I guess I could, but I'd be sacrificing, right? I could strip them of, I could extract points from them and just biomass them, but I want to play the game. I don't want to grind. And the problem is that, yes, you could do that, but the thing is, yes, your production would go up by times 2.5, but your need to grind. Oh, no. yes, you can grind the points doing the air career, but unless you're ridiculously swimming in ISK, like a griefer in Highsec, right? Unless you're just ridiculously rich, there's no way I can afford 60 extractors a month for I have 6 accounts. There's no way I could speed up my skill farming process because it would cost me, right? You'd have to get 30 billion, a billion a day. And sure, I suppose it's possible for me to do a billion a day. That's what, 5 pirate strongholds a day, at least. It's doable, but every day, every single day, that's all you'd be doing. And then the rest of the time, you'd be spending, time. So you'd spend every single day, all you'd do would be grind to pump out that much stuff. It would be an amazing haul. I mean, I just did a video. I'm compiling all 3 videos into one. But yeah, you'd make a profit. So you'd make 60 times. Yeah, you'd make a ridiculous amount. What is that? 90? No, 75. 60 times 1.25. 75. Yeah, 75. Yeah, I can do math. 75 billion a month. You'd make a profit of 75 billion a month. But of course, yeah, you got to translate in that if you're plexing, right? Obviously, you're doing this. It's a lot of that is going to cut into your like seven injectors are worth 3 months for a character, right? You guys do the math on that because my brain would just fry if I explained how you're going to leapfrog 6 accounts to, right? So it's no, brain can't take that much math. But yeah, if you're crazy and didn't want to play the game at all and just wanted to grind, go you. But then there are people who all they do all day is play the 0.01 the 0.1, it used to be 0.01, the 0.1 ISK game on market. I don't think that's a game. That's crazy. Or you could make your money doing planetary interaction every day when you have like the minimal mining thing going. That's mentally crazy, but some people do it, so I shouldn't knock those people because they probably make a huge profit. But to me, that's not playing a science fiction spaceship simulator mmog game. This is not playing. This is, can you imagine? All right, and here's the bottom line for myself. Would I want to, like, is it worth sacrificing one of my characters? Probably skill extract all the points. I've got almost 10 million skill points there. Do I sacrifice this ganker alt that I never use? I just have it just in case I do. I could extract all the skill points. I could trade off all the assets to one of my mains and then biomass it and do this whole thing. Would it be worth it, right? So I could get 50,000 skill points, and God, if I wanted to be really evil about it, you could just but is it worth it, right? I mean, is 50,000 worth it? So let's plug it in and see how much time I save. Now, this is my typical day-to-day stuff. So, all right, I got sharpshooter, and it's got perception, willpower, of course, and we'll check out our... I don't have the improved implants. I've got decent, right? And, you know, that's, I've got intelligence and perception, the two most primary attribute for skill points. So yeah, right? Whatever. And I've got 50,000. How much time does it save me? Right? It's going to save me, look, let's be honest here. It's not going to save me 2 days or 1 day. It's going to save me 20 hours. The time it takes for a jump clone cooldown to finish, 20 hours. So by spending some time in game with a biomassing character on all my clients, I could save 20 hours over all of them in probably less than an hour grind. Doing it would be the same freaking thing, right? It would be very grindy. In the last week, I've gotten tips from a few people, not many, but a few people. One of the most recent one was Nikolai, and he recommended something I didn't realize. Well, I kind of did, but it wasn't on the top of my mind to test. But, you know, I mean, he seemed legit, so I helped him out with a few pointers, aka he might not they usually don't reply, but it'd be like, yeah, I do that, but I do something different. But most people just say, I make $1 billion an hour, and they don't tell you how, and then you move on, right? So, but he was kind enough to, you know, be nice about it, and hint that he was doing something awful. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna top up my guys anyways on my Omega. It's a once-off. Let's get really evil. So it didn't take me long to get really evil. The most evil, and he didn't explicitly tell me this, but you'll, I've got a, Jesus, yeah, that's for another video. That's, stay tuned. But yeah, I mean, 20 hours, is it worth it? Right? I mean, it'll get grindy, it'll feel really exploity, but you could totally do this in a short amount of time. And if you're willing to biomass one of your characters on your Omegas, which is, you know, quite a commitment, actually. You know, I won't have a team of ganker alts that could be helpful in the future. That's a big deal for me. You know, I've never used it, but right, that's a major asset I'm throwing away. So is that worth it for spending, say, tops an hour on all the accounts going at the same time? It's a synergy kind of thing. And remember, this is worth, like, it take an hour. I get 50,000 each character. So let's, on paper, don't quote me here, but on paper that's 300,000. That's the equivalent of my very ancient people injecting a large skill injector and getting 150,000 skill points. Let's say spread it over 6 characters for 2 of them. You know, you can't do that, but, you know, or you could split it up into small skill injectors. They cost the same, actually. When you look at it, there's no savings for going the large versus the small. I don't suggest it at all, ever, to do that, but let's do the theory here on paper. So that's 1.8 billion currently worth. So I'm doing the equivalent in one session, in 1 hour, of 1.8 billion in skill injectors. That doesn't translate at all to anything, but just on paper, just to throw a number out there, right? Right? I'm not going to go into complexities of all realizing that. You can't, because, you know, you can't, it's just Ugh. But anyways, so 1.8 billion is worth of stuff that I never do. I never inject. I never counsel people to inject. I've never done it. I've never counseled. I've actually can't like argued when people say, "Oh, you can just get a larger skill and you get the doctoring ship real quick," and I'm like, "No, don't." I've actually argued against it. I've argued against men at arms boosters to speed up your training by 30%. It's just ridiculous idea. This is a screensaver game with a built-in chat function. So at the end of the day, would it be worth it for me to save almost a day training? And if I was willing to do that, let's say once a day, or maybe heck, if you had the time, twice a day, right? It takes 10 hours to buy a mess character. Would I do it? It would save me it would save you literally a day's training, which aka doubles your training time. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing? Like, it's a screensaver with built-in chat function. It's going to take you 40. If something's going to take you 40 days, you would spend 20 days doing this grind. Are you willing to do that? I'm not. I want to play a spaceship sci-fi simulator mmog. That's the aim of playing this game, not to grind for the sake of grinding, right? It doesn't make any sense. So, but yeah, I mean, it's possible on your megas, but you'd have to sacrifice a character on that account. If you're willing to do that, go for it, I guess. And then the grind of it. I mean, you get good at it, but still, it's just a grind. For what? Right? For what? It's so yeah, I mean, I skill farm. Right, currently I've paused all my guys and I'm going to be skill farming very, very shortly. Within a day, and I'll probably do that for the next year or so. I've gotten all the skills I really actually need on my mains, and I can slowly get login bonuses and event bonuses for skill points. And yeah, no worries, right? I've got enough skill points, but maybe you guys are just starting out. You're just trying out this whole multi-boxing thing. You've got the potential to have another character on this account to do this kind of thing, and yeah, maybe it'd be worth it. But I don't think it's worth grinding just to speed up your double your training time. It doesn't make any sense to do that, honestly. You're playing a game, not right. Play the game, enjoy it. Don't burn yourself out grinding like this. It might feel like, wait till you see I'm gonna speed it up and tell you what's going on with the Project Discovery cheese. Oh my god, it's so evil. But that kind of silliness will wear off after a while, and then you're left with a bad taste in your mouth going, wait, I did what for how long? For how much? Till what happened? You know, it's like, so I'm not going to do it. I'll do it the once on my characters, and I've got a really cheesy setup right now to get even a little bit more points. But I'm doing it for the heck of it, and I'll only do it once from my Omega characters, and that's it. You know, I won't think of it anymore. But other people are doing this constantly. But I ask them, my question to them is, why are you playing this game? It's a screensaver with a built-in chat function. It's a sci-fi space sim mmog. What are you doing? What are you wasting your time? But then people play the planetary interaction stuff, which is bananas nuts. You know, I mean, that's hilarious. But yeah, they do it every day for hours and hours and hours, and it's like, oh my god, that's a mini game in Eve, but you're not playing Eve, right? So there's right, but maybe like look at the null blocks when they gate camp for hours and hours and hours, and it's like, how do you even have fun? Well, you're not playing Eve. You're just sitting there pressing F1 every once in a while. So, I don't know. I would not suggest it. I'm not counseling you. That's a great idea. I think it's a really stupid idea. It's hilarious, but... right? Anyways, either preaching the choir or you're not interested and gonna do it anyways. So there you go. Or already doing it. I'm sure people hit on the exploits. Well, I wouldn't call it exploits because CCP hasn't, like, oh my god, wait till you see it. Anyways, so I consider them exploits, honestly, and I wish CCP would fix them because it's really silly. But then again, what do they care? Right? Really, I mean, if these people are doing it to get an income off of this and skill farm using this accelerated method, it's helping CCP. I mean, it's realizing Plex. That's right. You're skill farming for Plex, for obviously to Plex your account and do other stuff. You're contributing to realizing Plex. That's the way I see it, or at least that's the way I view the people who are doing this as a career, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, it's not a lot too. It's not more than you could do, say, doing an agitated abyssal run per hour and have more fun doing it, right? Anyways, whatever.